The state's discovery violation has injected a needless, incurable delay into the instant jury trial. Dismissal with prejudice is warranted to ensure the integrity of the judicial system and the efficient administration of justice. Your motion to dismiss with prejudice is granted.
These look exactly like the ammunition, the actual ammunition that we have in evidence. And they do look like the 3 rounds that are in that envelope.
On day 3 of Alec Baldwin's trial, the courtroom was rocked by a stunning turn of events that could change everything. Just when Baldwin's team thought the trial was winding down, a New Mexico judge dropped a bombshell. The case was dismissed. The defense had revealed a major issue. They claimed crucial evidence, including live ammunition linked to the on-set shooting, had been kept from them by local authorities. Judge Mary Marlowe Summer didn't hold back, harshly criticizing the state for causing unnecessary delays and unfairly damaging Baldwin's case. There is no way for the court to right this wrong, Judge Summer declared as she dismissed the charges against Alec Baldwin, making sure he could never be tried again. Overwhelmed with emotion, Baldwin turned to his wife, Hilaria, embracing her as the weight of the 18-month prison threat finally lifted from his shoulders. After the court's decision, Baldwin took a moment to share his thoughts on Instagram, where he thanked his supporters, saying, "You will never know how much your kindness means to my family." This surprising ruling came after a long and tense day in court, where the case against Baldwin centered on the tragic death of Halyna Hutchins, the Rust cinematographer who was fatally shot on set in 2021. Gloria Allred, the attorney for Halyna Hutchins' family, recently filed a civil suit against Baldwin and others involved in the Rust production, pointed out that Baldwin has never reached out to Hutchins' grieving family, raising questions about his silence. Then, as the court considered the defense's motion, something unexpected happened. The special prosecutor, Carrie Morrissey, took the stand to testify. During cross-examination, it was revealed that her colleague, Erlinda Ocampo Johnson, had resigned from the case just the day before, disagreeing with the decision to hold a public hearing. What does this mean for the case moving forward? The drama in the courtroom continues to build. The defense claimed that crucial evidence in the Rust case was hidden. They argued that the entire case should be dismissed because of how the ammunition was handled. In response, the state insisted that the evidence was irrelevant and had no bearing on Baldwin's guilt. This issue came to light when defense attorney Alex Spiro questioned Marissa Poppel, a crime scene technician with the Santa Fe County Sheriff's Office. Poppel revealed that a Good Samaritan handed over ammunition to the sheriff's office during the Rust armorer Hannah Gutierrez's trial. This ammunition allegedly ended up with Seth Kenney, the supplier of firearms, blanks, and dummy rounds for the film. Gutierrez, convicted of involuntary manslaughter in Hutchins' death, was accused of providing the live bullet that killed her and of failing to follow safety protocols on set. But the most shocking detail came when Poppel testified that she was instructed to file the report on this ammunition under a different case number, separate from the Rust investigation. Why was this evidence kept hidden, and how will it affect Baldwin's fate? In a tense moment, Spiro made a sharp accusation. "You buried it," he said, his words cutting through the courtroom. Poppel, a crime scene technician, quickly responded, "No, there's a supplemental report on it, and that was placed into evidence." But Spiro wasn't done. "Isn't it possible," he pressed, "that law enforcement has the matching rounds to the ammunition that killed Ms. Hutchins?" Poppel's response was hesitant. "I do not know." "Is that because you filed a separate report and didn't include it with the rest of the Rust evidence?" Spiro asked, his voice laced with suspicion. Poppel confirmed, "Those rounds were not placed with the rest of the Rust evidence."
Right?
My report states that Mr. Teskey believed that it was related to Rust, and then I listed the case number next to that.
The very same day, didn't you?
I don't recall stating the very same day.
You don't deny that, though, do you?
I don't deny it, but I don't recall it.
Okay, nothing further.
"And they weren't sent to the FBI for testing, were they?" Spiro continued, pushing the point. "No, they were not," Poppel admitted, the weight of her words hanging in the air. Then, on redirect, Morrissey shifted the focus. Has Baldwin been charged with bringing live rounds onto the set or loading a live round into the gun? No, Poppel replied, clearly stating that Baldwin faced no such charges. And has someone already been tried and convicted for those actions? Morrissey asked, guiding the narrative. Yes, Poppel confirmed, referring to Hannah Gutierrez, the armorer already found guilty. Morrissey then brought up an intriguing connection. Are you aware that the Good Samaritan who provided the ammunition was Troy Teskey, a close friend of Gutierrez's father, Thel Reed? Poppel admitted she wasn't aware. Morrissey continued. Did you know Teskey might have had his own reasons for trying to shift blame onto Seth Kenney to help Gutierrez? Poppel shook her head. No, I had no knowledge of that. She then testified that Kenney had provided live rounds for testing, which did not match the ammunition found on set. Even the live rounds found at Kenney's prop house didn't match. The evidence pointed back to Gutierrez, who was determined to be the source of the live rounds through photographic proof from the set. But the defense wasn't satisfied. Gutierrez's attorney, Jason Bowles, called it beyond shocking that the rounds Teskey provided weren't tested. They were hiding the truth until they were forced to reveal it at trial.
Do you remember when we started my examination of you yesterday, how I sort of said to you, the way you know what evidence to find is by what people tell you? Do you remember that?
Yes.
And that when you're at a burglary and somebody says, oh, you better pick up that glove, you don't know that that person's telling the truth or not, but you pick up the glove, right?
Depending on the circumstances of the case, possibly.
If you want to find the truth, you follow every lead, Bowles declared, leaving the courtroom in a state of suspense. Gutierrez had already appealed her conviction, but this development cast a new shadow over the case. As the trial reached a crucial point, attention moved to a key motion hearing. Morrissey, representing the state, revealed that a retired officer, Troy Teskey, had provided a photograph of the ammunition. The state, after reviewing the image, decided it wasn't a match to the live rounds found on the set of Rust and dismissed the lead, choosing not to pursue what they saw as a dead end. There's nothing about Teskey's ammunition that holds any evidentiary value, Morrissey asserted, confident in the state's decision to move on. But defense attorney Lukanikis wasn't convinced. He argued that the evidence had been concealed under a different case number and insisted that it was critical and should have been disclosed. Morrissey doesn't get to decide what's valuable evidence and what isn't, Nikis challenged, raising the stakes in the courtroom. On the stand, Poppel, the crime scene technician, pushed back against claims that the ammunition was hidden. She maintained that there was no proof linking Kenney, the supplier, to the live rounds on the Rust set. Morrissey pressed further. If it was hidden, how did the defense know to question you about it? Poppel's response was telling, I do not know. Things took a serious turn when Kenney himself testified.
You indicated that you didn't supply ammunition. If you know, do you know if dummy rounds were used on the set of The Old Way?
They were. Dummy rounds were used.
And where did those dummy rounds come from if you didn't provide them?
They came from Thale Reed.
How do you know that?
Because I witnessed them packing up her car and assembling all the blanks and dummy rounds that she was going to need.
So
He admitted that in November 2021, just days after the tragic shooting, he had informed investigators about the live ammunition from Teskey. Initially, Kenney thought it might have been the source of the fatal rounds, but after analyzing the differences in the powder and projectiles, he concluded otherwise. Morrissey then asked, do you believe Reed and Thel were trying to blame you for the live rounds on the Rust set? Kenney's response was firm. To varying degrees, yes. It seemed clear they were pointing the finger at me. But Kenney was confident as he concluded, there was never a doubt in my mind I didn't provide live ammunition to Rust. The courtroom was filled with tension as Santa Fe County Sheriff's Office CPL, Alexandra Hancock, the lead detective in the Rust investigation, took the stand. She revealed that Troy Teskey had appeared in court during Gutierrez's trial with live ammunition, which he later dropped off at the sheriff's office. Despite leaving several messages for Teskey, Hancock never received a response and struggled to connect the evidence to the Rust case. Defense attorney Spiro pressed Hancock, asking if there was any other crucial evidence she had hidden from the defendant. Hancock firmly denied any wrongdoing, stating, "I don't think I've hidden anything." When Spiro pointed out that Teskey had given a witness statement to Papel, Hancock admitted she was unaware of this until that moment. The courtroom watched as video footage from Teskey's lapel camera was played, showing him at the sheriff's office. In the footage, Teskey claimed he had evidence, but insisted the ammunition was not from the Rust set. Instead, he said it came from the same batch of live rounds used for a different film project involving Reed. Teskey, although listed as a witness for Gutierrez's defense, was never called to testify. In the footage, he revealed that Gutierrez's defense had no interest in the ammunition. Meanwhile, Lieutenant Brian Brandel testified that Hancock had instructed him to file the information under a different case number while awaiting further investigation. As Judge Summer, who has overseen both trials in the shooting, questioned Hancock, the lead detective revealed that the evidence from Teskey was filed under a different case number due to discussions between herself, her supervisors, and Morrissey. Morrissey, who had offered to testify, was called as a witness after Spiro decided against calling her himself. Morrissey testified that the ammunition provided by Teskey seemed to have little evidentiary value. She explained that because the rounds never left Arizona and looked different from the live ammunition found on the Rust set, they did not appear significant. The only way this would be relevant is if it closely resembled the live rounds found on the set, Morrissey said. After seeing a photo of the ammunition from Gutierrez's attorney, Bowles, she concluded that it was not similar to the live rounds from the set and did not take further action to collect it. Morrissey also suggested that Bowles may have dismissed the ammunition because it was crucial evidence that could potentially hurt his client's case. During cross-examination, Spiro accused Morrissey of bias against Baldwin. "That's simply not true," Morrissey shot back. "I respect Mr. Baldwin's work and his performances on Saturday Night Live. I even appreciate his politics." Judge Summers' words landed like a hammer in the courtroom. She described the state's actions as intentional and deliberate, highlighting the gravity of the situation. The Santa Fe County Sheriff's Office and the prosecutor had failed to disclose crucial evidence that could have been potentially exculpatory. Summer pointed out that this suppression occurred so late in the proceedings that it crippled Baldwin's defense, leaving no time to analyze the rounds given by Teskey. As she delivered her verdict, Summer didn't mince words. If this conduct does not rise to the level of bad faith, it certainly comes so near to bad faith as to show signs of scorching. The gravity of her words hung in the air, leaving no doubt about the severity of the situation and the irreversible impact on Baldwin's case. Morrissey spoke to reporters outside the courthouse, stating, "I'm disappointed because I believe that the importance of the evidence was misconstrued by the defense attorneys, but I have to respect the court's decision." When asked if she felt she let Hutchins' family down, Morrissey didn't hesitate. "We did everything humanly possible to bring justice to Helena and to her family, and we are proud of the work that we did. We disagree with the court's decision, but we have to respect it." Meanwhile, Baldwin and his legal team exited the courthouse in silence, leaving the public to wonder what was running through his mind. Despite previous attempts by his defense to have the charges dismissed, they had been denied until now. So, what do you think lies ahead for Baldwin, and what does this mean for justice in the Rust tragedy? Drop your comments below and let's keep the conversation flowing. Your feedback fuels our passion and helps us create even better content. Normally, I'd point you to a few of our other videos, but let's be honest, there are a lot of gems on this channel, so why not go on a treasure hunt and explore them all? If you're looking for a starting point, don't forget to check our channel for other videos on this case. The story is far from over. If you enjoyed this video, hitting the like and subscribe buttons would really help us out. It's not rocket science, but it makes a world of difference. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more amazing content, and we'll catch you in the next video.